Okay, hello, welcome back. It's been a while since I've done a video. I'm just gonna do another quick little video. Not so fun this time. Sorry. Um, Watching a lot of news about the Parkland shooting, all that stuff that happened and came out, and there was one thing by the student, now activist, I suppose, Emma Gonzalez, that she said that I found to be really disturbing. Let's see, let me get you the pull this up. And oh, don't you love it when you hit the wrong button on your phone? Okay, we're gonna try it again. Hold on one second. Okay.
Since he was in middle school, it was no surprise to anyone who knew him to hear that he was the shooter. Those talking about how we should have not ostracized him, you didn't know this kid! Okay, we did!
Okay, so first off, just all the caveats out of the way. I don't know anything about this girl, Emma Gonzalez. Next to nothing except for heard a couple of her speeches. I have nothing against any of the Parkland students, and you know, I actually think it's awesome that they're going out and they're talking about this and so on. I have a slight concern that they are being used by people to push their own political agendas, and I don't think all of their ideas and concepts are that workable. But yeah, I think they're awesome for getting out there and talking about this and trying to do something, trying to make a change. Um, that being said, her comment, for anyone who's ever worked in the mental health field, anyone who is a social worker, a therapist, anything, if someone had made that comment to them in the office, that would be a huge, huge warning sign. Yeah, can't speak. It's. I find it very disturbing of a comment to have made, and it kind of it accomplished something that really I hadn't felt before. I'm very empathetic. I'm usually very sympathetic. Up to that point, I really don't have any sympathy for people who go out and shoot people, and I still don't. I don't have any sympathy for anything the shooter did at all whatsoever. But having heard that, I do have sympathy that for the shooter, that he had to go to school with her and with people who are acting like her. Um, Basically, what she just said, she basically admitted to bullying this kid. And look up all, and I'm surprised not more people are talking about this comment about what's going on. A few people online are, um, but it's basically, there's a lot of responsibility to go around with what happened with Parkland. The laws we have in place should have stopped him, and a lot of organizations, the FBI, the Sheriff's Office, had a lot of warnings about this kid. In all fairness, the FBI has been pretty straightforward about, yes, we had some warnings, we should have done something. The Sheriff's Office, not so much. The school didn't want to get the police involved in a couple of things, just they didn't want the kid to have a criminal record. And a social worker examined him, said, no, he's not a danger. Well, she said a lot of things. I'm not going to put words in the social worker's mouth. But yeah, there's a lot of things. The laws we have should have stopped this kid from getting guns and should have gotten him the help he needed, and it didn't happen. But for the first time, with that quick little comment from Emma Gonzalez, suddenly we're starting to see the origins, the first cause of why this kid became the way he was. Um, Now, when you're bullied, the typical reaction you have is to run and hide. You want to find a safe place, just curl up there, run and hide. And we all seek safety in life. If we get overly stressed, we go back to familiar things. I've read and reread Agatha Christie books so many times, and part of the reason I do that is it's a safe book for me to read. I can go back, I read them, I started reading them when I was 9 or 10, and, I can go back to my childhood and enjoy a good Agatha Christie book. That's a safe place to be. And when we're bullied, we seek out safe places. Just we go to our room, we go to some place where we won't be bothered and seek safety. And that's pretty much everyone's reaction to being bullied, to being pushed around, to being ostracized, to use her own word. But it also, you know, when it happens again and again and again and constantly, and from what I understand about the shooter's life, a lot of tragedy had hit very suddenly with him, um, and so on. And that's kind of what caused him to shoot places. Most people who are bullied don't react violently at all. They hide. And, I was bullied, and, I actually, because I had fighting training, combat training when I was younger, martial arts training, then, I actually had to, a few times, actually physically stop myself, if that makes sense. Basically, physically hold myself back from engaging or fighting because of that, even though often, a few times, I would want to fight. Um, but yeah, when you're bullied, you're alone. You seek out safe places to be alone, to be away from everyone else. But human beings need that interaction as they get older, as they grow up. They need to have the interaction. They need to be able to interact and have people who support them. But if you're feeling ostracized, and middle school is a very big ostracization place. It's, at least for me, it was even worse than middle school, high school, I should say. It's just a horrible, horrible place to be, and you're oftentimes get completely isolated and alone. And that's what happened. This appears to be kind of a first cause, at least from all the information I know. This is what kind of started him to becoming the shooter, was that he was bullied. And it's now, I'm not saying everybody who's bullied is going to act out violently. They do not act out violently. It's very rare that any sort of violence, even suicide, happens because of being, happens because starts with being bullied. It doesn't happen as often as you might think. Most people are resilient, and they can get support from other sources, and have that safety. This kid apparently was completely ostracized from what little I understand of it in middle school, growing up. And then, he had several things happen that were emotionally traumatic for him. His girlfriend dumping him, his parents dying, things like that, and having no real support there. And the system that should have supported him, just, it didn't work. Um, so, like I'd said, there's a lot of responsibility to go around for the shooting. And I think this young lady has a certain degree of culpability in this. She helped create the situation. And I think her and anyone else who bullied this kid, ostracized this kid, it needs to be acknowledged, they did a part. They had a hand, a part in this situation. Um, I'm actually kind of surprised with this comment coming out and not being ignored, and well, I'm kind of surprised, kind of not surprised. I have a certain cynical point of view, but I'm surprised that all the focus is on gun control, because the laws we had should have stopped this. Instead, the focus really needs to be on bullying and anti-bullying. We need to basically start at the root of the problem. What creates a shooter? And virtually every first cause, quite simply, is being bullied, feeling like you do not belong, and being ostracized from your community, from your fellow students, just feeling like you're a freak and you're different. And it's not a fun feeling. I can speak to being bullied when I was a kid. I think just about everybody has had some sort of experience like that, and you feel completely lost. You feel like you don't really belong. And this kid's feeling of not really belonging, mixed with a lot of other stuff that happened in his life, kind of pushed him to this point. Now, none of this is a justification for what he did. There's no real justification for going into a school and shooting it up. But that's where it starts, and that's what caused it in this particular case. And, going forward, I think the focus should be less on gun control, less on pushing the antics, less on hating the NRA. You know, really, NRA wasn't even really involved in this at all. um, it's if you look at the NRA, what they are doing, and look at this, situation, they had very, very, it'd be stretching a point to say that they were involved. But yeah, I think we should forget all that stuff. Just ignore all of that stuff and focus on bullying. We have anti-bullying laws. We have anti-bullying situations in schools. I mean, yeah, I work in schools. I go through schools all the time, and yeah, there's a lot of anti-bullying stuff up on the wall. There's one sign I read. I'm trying to remember exact words, but that says every single person is going through something that you can't see or don't know. So be respectful of that person. And just little things like that, they're done in every single school. And apparently, bullying is still happening. I think that should be the focus. Anti-bullying rules, anti-bullying situations, having, teachers be there, be on it for all the students, for everyone, and not bully. Anyway, that's my 2 cents for what it's worth about this particular comment by Emma Gonzalez. And yeah, like and subscribe if you like it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.